Meeting recording has started.
Oh, medaki api. Chante wa shtea na petchus apiro. Good afternoon, my relatives. My name is Gerald Red Buffalo. I'm here with my team members, Angelina and Autumn, and we are going to present on addressing stressors and life challenges while in college. So before we begin, I think it's appropriate that we start off with a prayer, and I wanted to share a song with you guys. Um, a lot of the things that we do at my reservation, we try to approach it in a ceremonial way to keep the energy, from our cultural aspect alive and keep it moving forward and try to implement that with everything that we do. So I feel that it's appropriate to start this out in that way. um, I'm gonna pray in my language, but I will translate afterwards, and then I'll share my song with you guys to kind of give a little opening prayer for us here. So if we could take a moment, you guys can pray in your heads. You could pray, the best way that you see fit. So we'll take this moment now to recognize our grandfathers and our creator. Ho wakantaka tukashira, tate topa no chimaka, wakan oyate mini oyate wambidi gdeshka oyate, na wiochpiata wakia oyate, o unkiapi, etaha nina ushi diapido. Apetu kire wa shite nina wopira tanka ticha apiro takashira. Oyate ki wakaija te wicha kihirapi heched tunkashira makoche omanipi. Tapi cheki apido. Oyate o aiki wanawashte etaha waspe wakantuya unki tantahapido. Hogana o ake wayante. Tunkashira wo okia unkiapido. Ugdushkapi kiota. E un kichik tujapido. Tunkashira. Wakantaka uyaki apiktahe. Ioki hi washte unkuapido. Tukashira o unkiapi cha pida uyapido tuka. Hohetitudo. Creator, grandfathers of the four direction and Mother Earth, all the sacred beings from the water nation to the eagle nation, the thunder beings in the west, please help all of us, for we are pitiful. I thank you very much for this beautiful day you have given us. Our native people love our children dearly. Therefore, grandfather, I ask that you bless the ground they walk upon, for they are our future. The advancement of our people is good now because we are seeking higher education. In this direction, we are making progress. Grandfather, I ask that you continue to help us all with these endeavors. Grandfather, forgive us for all the mistakes we make, for we are only human and make many. Creator, I ask that you continue to help us all. Grandfather, we thank you for all the blessings we receive. So at this time, I wanted to share a song that I feel is appropriate with the presentation that we are going to give, and with the learning aspect of this program. And I will share the translation after I'm done as well. Oh ya te wa ya ke la ya. Oh ya te ma ka se ta ne ya wa lai na wa ka ye ke ya no. Ao ke papa ao ke papa hai oh ya te wa ya ke la ya oh ya te ma ka se ta le ya wa lai la wa ka ya ke ai ke ai nào ke pa pa ai ke pa pa ai oh this song that I just shared with you in our Dakota language it translates telling the people to look everything in this world that has life is sacred. So therefore make it yours and take responsibility for it. Take good care of it. Treat it with respect and you will be in a good way. So again, I thank you guys for taking the time to share this prayer with me. Um the way I grew up in a strong traditional background, my grandfather was a spiritual leader here in our tribe. He ran a Sundance when he was alive, which I still partake in yearly. In our teachings, we believe that our bodies are made up of two energies: our physical energy and our ethereal energy, our spirit, our soul. And we must feed both of them to maintain a balance, to find that balance within ourselves. So, our physical part, we need to eat and we need to drink in order to stay alive, to feed ourselves in that way. And it's also the same with our spiritual side. We must find those ways to feed our spirit, to keep it in balance with our physical side. So we do these things in a prayerful way, and we in order to find that balance so that we may live contently, we may live productive and adequate lives for ourselves and our loved ones and our community. So I always feel it's appropriate to start these things out in a prayerful sense so that we may keep that ceremony alive in everything that we do. So again, I thank you. Those of you that are just joining us, my name is Gerald Red Buffalo, and I will hand it over to Angelina, who will start the second part of our presentation. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jared. That was so beautiful. What a good way to start our morning. Uh, Hi, everyone. Yat e she'ea fibase, nashdeja tachitni, kisani bashische, debethlejen dashache, kisani dashanelli. And I kind of just introduced myself in my Navajo way. We as Diné people, this is kind of how we seek our relatives, and I'm pretty sure probably some of you are related in some way somehow. So good morning. My name's Angelina. You can call me Phoebe. My Indian name is Phoeba Seh, which means when the rain clouds pile on top of each other in my Tiwa language. I'm an enrolled member of the Navajo Nation, and I'm also from Santa Ana and Isleta Pueblo as well. I'm currently in my Isleta reservation area right now. I'm in the process of moving to Rockville, Maryland. Um, I am taking my prereqs for the MSN-RN program at Johns Hopkins. So currently I'm taking one class, microbiome. And this past spring, I just graduated from the health studies program at the University of Washington Bothell campus. So a little bit about more of my background, I guess, is I grew up in a Catholic school. I attended St. Pius, and from that, I went to a tribal college university on the Lummi Reservation at Northwest Indian College. Um, After I completed my associates, I transferred to the University of Washington, but in the meanwhile, I took a 3-year gap. just because I was trying to get in-state tuition, the cost of tuition, as well as declaring residency in the state of Washington. So we're talking about maintaining our stressors while in college. And one of the big stressors I've had was getting in-state tuition my first fall quarter. I had been living in the state of Washington since 2014, ever since I was 18, and I'm 25 now. But the biggest stressor I had was navigating the system and being an advocate. Since I did go to a tribal college university, the tuition was way less expensive than a big institution, and I think I had the most trouble was kind of just navigating that portion. There was times where we had two registers at the University of Washington for the Bothell campus, and I would be in close contact with them, talking about the needs that I needed to meet in order to be a resident. And there was just times I felt like there was a lot of rejection that was pulled that way, and there wasn't a lot of peers that I had met or mentors, and it had been my first quarter. So what I had done was actually I had to do a lot of research and self advocating. And luckily, though, I did have one mentor from a previous internship at UW who really advocated and helped me. But a lot of it was more of writing on my behalf and kind of explaining why I moved to Washington State and that my case was uniquely different. And I had to really bring up on the UW Bothell site a quick fact sheet, and I pointed out like, hey, just being a native student at a bigger institution, I looked at your quick fact sheet, and you have less than 1% of the student populations that represent IAIN, so American Indians and Alaskan Natives. So that being said, the register kind of they still had rejected it at least 2 to 3 multiple times, and so that's when I had to go to the Department of Education on their website, do a little research, and I had to declare a panel review. So I had other various I guess, UW faculty that would review my own case and kind of just see like it was a two-third vote if it were to be declared yes or no. But I think that was like my winning portion, and my winter quarter was actually I did get it approved. I got in-state tuition, and I had applied for scholarships heavily. I had a scholarship list, Excel sheet, every my deadlines and everything. So that was one of the big stressors. And during that time, I think it goes unseen, especially right now if you are in school, is just being at the library, doing the small things of getting up early, planning ahead of time, prepping, kind of maintaining your mental and physical health. I think my biggest outlet and coping mechanism was actually going to the ARC on campus, which was a technically free but more in our tuition of the like recreation portion. And now with everything with COVID, I know the first through 2 quarters I had been on campus, and then we transitioned online. So I think still when the gyms had closed, I think maintaining my physical health by going outside, going for walks, as well as like a lot of podcasts of that pertain to mental health were contributing factors that really helped me be as successful to complete my undergraduate. And not only that, but I kept in contact with instructors and mentors at UW Bothell. I've had a lot of instructors in my health studies program that were very supportive, and um, they really wanted to not necessarily learn, but be aware and have that cultural awareness that an Indigenous student is in the classroom. I know Jared and I and Autumn had spoke about being at a big academic institution and having to be the only Native student in the class and being your own advocate in that matter, but also speaking up on various studies and having to, you know, pretty much be your voice for your ancestors in that room. And we talked about, taking up space and correcting instructors. And a lot of instructors, when I would just kind of email them, pull them aside and being like, hey, this would be really great in your paper or in your curriculum if you added this. This is something I've done. This is something my people have gone through, and it's just acknowledging those health disparities within our own communities, but also like empowering them and creating that resilience. But I think that was one of the other like challenges and coping mechanisms, because it helped me learn, and especially like keep in contact with my own family. I'm very family oriented, so I think being away in the state of Washington was a bigger challenge as well too. And during that time in Washington State, my first year, my family actually moved to the East Coast. So that was even hard because I had my primary home state, New Mexico, with my grandparents, cousins, extended family. And then I had my parents and my little brother in a different state in the East Coast. So definitely communication through FaceTime was something that we relied heavily on. Um, but that's kind of more of about me and my background and what I can share with you. I can add on as the slides go on, but if you have questions about my own journey, yeah, you can definitely let me know and I'll give it away to Autumn.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I love everything you said, especially about just being an advocate for yourself. And I think that's kind of what we wanted everyone to take away today was that, we just kind of want you guys to get to know us and a little bit about us and what we offer as students, as individuals, and as, family members in this big scheme of things working towards education and bettering our communities. Yeah, my name is Autumn Cody. Uh, I am Navajo Dene, so I am mostly Bilagana, but my clans are also Twitsoni and Sitnagini. But I will save you the whole introduction because it's not Bilagana. Um, yes, I am Autumn Cody. I also want to apologize up front that I do have a cold going on right now. So if I don't sound the best or if I crackle or cough, that's just what's going on. But I am a student here at Northern Arizona University. I'm from Flagstaff, Arizona. I was born here. I came back to the area to go to school after moving throughout the state around with my family, which you'll see in the picture here. I'm a big sister with a 10 and 14-year gap between me and my sisters. So in a way, I feel a lot like a parent and like a sister and a mom. And so I stay home. I go home a lot and see my family and my sisters. The family's a big thing for me. And so I decided to come to NAU specifically because my parents did actually come before me here as first-gen students, and they kind of laid this groundwork of education that I really decided to pursue and follow as I started my own educational endeavors. And so I am studying and getting my bachelor's of science in psychological sciences with a minor in queer studies. I'm about 2 semesters away from completing that. Super excited and also stressed to be undertaking the rest of this educational journey and getting ready for hopefully grad school in the near future. So I also am a Native American program assistant in DigiJack here at our Native American Culture Center at Northern Arizona University. And so what that means is for the last 4 years, I'm here at the center. I work directly with students in the programming and the different things that we here offer to our students as resources as they're going through their academic fields and journeys. And so one of the things I really kind of wanted to focus on is the fact that I did jump straight into a 4-year university, which is kind of a little bit different than Phoebe's journey, when going from a tribal college to a bigger university. And I going into university, that was something I probably didn't think about as much. And so I think there was a lot more of a transitional phase when it came to jumping straight into university and taking up that space as an Indigenous student. There's a lot more advocacy that you have to do for yourself, and a lot more, just asking for help and navigating that has to take place. One of the things I wanted to touch on of my biggest obstacles were probably as a student, my interpersonal life and my family, and some of the costs and different things that happen, while we're going to school. Something I did just want to share up front was, like I said, I'm doing my minor in queer studies, and I have put a lot of my time and effort into figuring out my own identity, others, and how that works into our framework of psychology and life. And so for me, when I started college, one of the biggest things, coming from a Mormon family, a mixed Mormon family, was coming out and being queer and openly queer. And that kind of created some interesting dichotomies while going to school, because of the support systems and some of the just different organizing and dealing with, okay, sexual orientation as this thing on top of life and everything else going on. And so I think for me, that was one of my biggest obstacles as an undergrad student, was navigating that and navigating where I fit in to the bigger scheme of university education and academia. And so my going forward, my biggest thing is always creating those spaces for other students and making sure that we all have the resources and things that we need to be able to be successful, not just at school, but in our interpersonal lives, because it affects so much more than just, the surface level stuff. So yeah, there's a little bit about me. Yeah, I'm almost done, so it's kind of scary. It's fun. So the biggest thing for me was, after all of that, supporting myself and costs, paying for school, paying for living. And so just going with that, having this mindset of gratitude and just continually working and looking for some of the different opportunities that are available to me as a student and as an individual, has been the biggest keystone to my success here at NAU. And really, those support systems, building a support system here at the Native American Culture Center has been invaluable for me, and reaching out and creating those spaces with mentors where you feel seen, heard, and taken care of. And so I just wanted to make sure that I kind of covered that and the importance of that, because I don't think we talk about it as much, just because it's inherently, we all kind of realize and deal with our own things. But I think, just talking about mental health and how that matters, and interpersonal things and how they all relate to our sense of education and our educational journeys. So just again, when taking on a university, there's a lot of, as Angelina was saying, there's a lot of struggle sometimes with being the only Indigenous person within a classroom space, and feeling, kind of othered in some of those spaces. And so I think for me, just taking up space, asking question, advocating for help, and asking for help has been the biggest driver, and really asking for help and asking us for help as your mentors in this program, and looking for programs like this to support our educational journeys. Another thing I would just want to touch on is asking yourself, what do you need? I feel like we don't do that enough as individuals. What do you need today? Is it a walk? Do you need a shower? Do you need to go eat something? Do you need a hug? Like, what is it that you need and feel in that moment like you really need? Because I think sometimes we get a little out of touch with our inner selves and our bodies and what it needs. And so when we're addressing stressors and anxiety in college, just remembering to take care of ourselves internally, outwardly, and holistically. Um, and so just prioritizing your mental health is the key to success, because we have to be fully functioning machines when we are going into schooling. And so, as to shower, making time for video games, things we enjoy, painting, all of these different things are ways that we cope with some of the stressors and anxieties in college. And just knowing that there are resources and people out there that have also gone through similar journeys and have similar experiences and stories and can connect with you in that way. And so yeah, that's just a little about me, and just wanted to give you a quick brief overview, and I will pass it now back to Gerald. And he's just gonna introduce and talk a little bit more about all of this. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. I would concur with everything that you have shared.